Hello, this is Roberto Rojas. This is challenge 2797, Operation Prometheus for Thought, and I'm going to walk through my submission. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to download my submission, and I'm going to store it in directory so that we can see what we need to do. So then I'm going to open a terminal, which I already have. So as you can see, it's downloading the file, so I already have it there. So I'm going to unzip the file, and yes, we want to overwrite everything, and then we're going to go into the directory. Alright, so if we follow the README document for the steps to get the application up and running, we're going to see that the first thing that we need to do is install the provided or managed package with custom objects that are needed for this application. So let's do that. So we go back, grab the URL for the managed package, and then we install it. Hit continue. So that's going to install all those objects and relationships and all that other stuff. We hit next, grant access to all users, and then we install it. Okay, so while that's doing that, we're going to look at the next step. So the next step is going to be to create a custom connected application so that we can get the security key and whatnot. So I already did that. So if we go to applications, we can see here that I have one application which I call the same name as the challenge, and we get that key and reveal the consumer secret, and we get the callback URL. So all that information is going to be used as part of the configuration. So I have all that already set up here. Everything, the server is going to be localhost, my account that I'm going to be logging in with, and then you would need your password plus security token to be able to log in. So, and then we're going to configure the push notification topics for the challenge and the challenge submitted challenge. All right. So the next step is let's get the push notifications created. So if we go down to that section where I have all the both push notifications, the topics, the statements that created, we go back to the developer console, and then we run that. So okay, just gonna paste that, execute it, and it's running. As you can see, it was successful. We close that, close the log. We go and we do the next one. Copy and paste, generate, everything was good. All right, so now we have that. So the next step is we configure the environment variables. And like I said, I have the environment variables set up in here. Let me just check real quick. So I have them in there. I think it looks good. Okay, so the next step is we're going to navigate to the directory where the application is, and then we're going to run npm install. npm install. Okay, so now it's installing all the required modules for this application. I'm using request, I'm using socket.io, I'm using walk, which is a library to go recursively through the directory structure that I'm going to be using. And I'm using request to download the file. All right, next step is we're going to fire up the application. So if I have everything configured correctly, just check real quick, make sure that I have everything set up here. Let me just refresh this. Okay, and then challenge. Okay, there we go. So we have the participant submission and challenge. Okay, so seems like we're good. Let's start the application. Start the application now. When it's trying to connect to the push topics, it takes a while. I'm not sure why. I've been trying to figure that out, but I don't know if it's that Salesforce is busy or what. But anyway. So while that's doing that, let me show you what happens on the browser. So we're gonna run, let's run Safari first. And we're gonna localhost. Yay, new version of iPhone. Alright, so as you can see, we don't have anything at the moment. I'm gonna run another browser. And whoop, so you can see we don't have anything either. So let me just align this window so that we can see what's happening. Let's see if we got connected. No, still trying to connect. We would see a message in here when it's successfully connected. Alright, oh okay, so this is just chatter from Socket.io to the two browsers. Okay, well, in the meantime, let's just set up some of the data that we need. So the first thing we need is a challenge. So we're going to go and create a challenge. So let's create 2797. It's going to be our challenge. And let me use my email, or actually my user account, username. Username. It's going to be a username, and we create a challenge. Let's see. I don't want to do that now because I want to do it at the point where it's connected. Hopefully it's going to be soon because I don't want to run out of video time. Oh, here we go. So alright, so as you can see, we got connected, and now we're gonna create the first our challenge. So as you can see, we created a challenge. Soon we're gonna see the notification here, and as you can see immediately, we got the folder for the challenge. So the next thing is we're gonna create a participant, challenge participant, and let's do that. So that's going to be 2797. That's going to match the challenge ID. We hit continue. So okay, so that got created. We don't get any notifications for that, which is okay. That was not part of the requirements. But we do need this fellow here to be able to create a new submission. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to add a submission. Well, the next thing, we're going to add a submission, okay, for the challenge. All right. So who's the participant for that? We have that number there. And what is the challenge? 2797. So it's going to be a challenge. And we're going to download. This is the URL that was provided in the email for the custom object. So I'm using this as the submitted by the participant, the submitted file by the participant. So I'm going to use some username, and then you're going to see here that we're going to get a notification, and the browsers are going to update. So that, boom, we get a notification, and boom, we get the file. So if we click on one of the files, it's going to try to download it. All that. So that is that. We can do another one real quick. I want to run out of video. Same challenge, same file, but this time I'm going to put my wife's name, submit, get a notification, boom, and everything submitted. As you can see, we have challenge, that challenge have the username, and then whatever files they submitted. Alright, so let's walk through the code real quick. So the README file has more details about what I'm going to say, but in any event, everything starts here in the app.js. This is what starts the application. First thing we do, we go and connect to Salesforce. I'm using a config file that you're going to find in here that has all the data that we need. You can modify some of these values from environment variables. And after we connect, then it's going to set up the streamers. So if we go and look at the streamers, basically this guy is going to take the Salesforce connection, and it's going to start listening to both topics that we created. and it's going to send the whatever data it got to the respective handlers, which we set up in here. We have a submission handler and we have a challenge handler. So it's going to send the data, get the data, and send it back. For the submission itself, I couldn't do a relationship select, so I had to do, after we get the notification data, I had to run yet another query going back, trying to get the challenge and the name, so that we use that for generating the directory and downloading the file. So both handlers, if we look at the challenge handler, this one, all it does, it creates a directory name for the challenge. And submission handler, which is the one that does a little bit more work. If the challenge directory doesn't exist for whatever reason, it creates it. And inside of that, it creates the username directory. If it doesn't exist only, because if it exists, it will not do anything. And then otherwise, it's going to come in and it's going to set up the file stream and download the file that was submitted and pipe it, and then, if there are any errors, it's going to display some errors and whatnot. All right, so the next class is the file manager. This guy is the one that creates, in here it creates the directory, so all that code is there. And then this is one that does the magic of using the walk module to go through the directory structure and generating a JSON file or JSON payload that Socket.io is going to send. Like, if we look at one of the streamers in here, it sends it to all clients. So if we look at the front end, very simple. This is where all that stuff is going to be displayed. So it's a jQuery plugin called TreeView, and basically everything is going to be in there. Look at the JavaScript that does that. Here's the JavaScript that receives the connection from the server, and it gets the data, passes it to refresh tree, and then this guy does the magic of generating a bunch of ULs and LIs, and then it uses that plugin to generate a nice tree view. All right, so that's my submission. I hope you like it.